Shares of Virgin Galactic continue to slide, now trading at $1.32 per share as I'm recording. And it's understandable that investors are starting to get impatient with the company. Not a lot is happening at Virgin Galactic. And now we have a lawsuit from Boeing saying that the company owes Boeing around $25 million for not only unpaid bills, but also what they call theft of trade secrets. What's a little bit wild with Virgin Galactic is there's really no change in the company over the last 6 months or so. Everything that Virgin Galactic has communicated has happened. They did a flight in January 2024. I attended that, talked to management there about what the plan was going forward and kind of the milestones that they were going to need to hit. And none of those milestones were going to happen before April 2024, where we sit today. We will start to see some milestones come this summer and this fall. Test flights will happen next year, but there's a long runway ahead for Virgin Galactic recovering as a business and actually turning into the business that we think it's going to be. And so sometimes an impatient market is actually what you have as opposed to a company that's not performing well. So I want to dig into both of those things today. I'm going to start with the lawsuit with Boeing, which we don't have all the details, but it's a little bit confusing looking at it from the outside as an investor, and then go through exactly what we should expect from Virgin Galactic over the next couple of years, because it's going to be a couple of years before this company gets to a significant revenue stream and potential profitability. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content, and thanks to this video sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. So let's start with this lawsuit that Boeing filed recently. This is from Space News, and they do a good job covering this and the industry overall. $25 million lawsuit for misappropriation of trade secrets and a project to develop a new aircraft. This is that new aircraft. It's a new mothership that Boeing's subsidiary Aurora Flight Sciences was going to build. That's basically been put on hold as Virgin Galactic consolidates its business and really just focuses on the Delta spacecraft. But that will fly with the current mothership, which was upgraded a year or two ago. But what they say here is basically they did around $25 million worth of work on designing that new mothership, and then eventually concluded that it would not be possible for Virgin Galactic to produce the new mothership wanted on the budget available with the timeline that they wanted. So in 2023, work stopped on the project. And that's kind of where we sit today. But Boeing says that Virgin Galactic owes some money for the design work that was done. That, it sounds like, will probably just be worked out in court. These are contracts. The two parties are going to be able to take that to a judge and say, hey, here's the work that was done. Here's what's owed. Find some sort of solution. So not a massive deal as far as I'm concerned. $25 million is a lot of money for Virgin Galactic. That's the one thing that's a little bit concerning, because if you start having to pay a $25 million bill, that's suddenly a lot of cash for a company that's trying to conserve as much as they possibly can to build those Delta spacecraft. But the thing that was a little bit odd about this was the part of the lawsuit that alleges Virgin Galactic has refused to destroy proprietary information Aurora provided as part of the work. This includes technical specifications dubbed the equations, and these were inadvertently provided by Boeing, by Aurora Flight Sciences, to Virgin Galactic. So everything here sounds like Aurora Flight Sciences gave information to Virgin Galactic that was a trade secret. It wasn't patented, it was a trade secret, and then said, just kidding, we didn't mean that to give that to you. Can you destroy that? And Virgin Galactic said no. That's what this lawsuit states. Now, I'm not a patent attorney, but I have gone through the patent process a number of times, and trade secrets and patents are very different. Trade secrets is something you need to keep a secret. If you give it to a competitor or a customer, that's kind of your problem. So I don't know if that's the way that it's going to play out, but that was what was a little bit strange about this. There's the contract piece, and then there's what they kind of made seem like it was stolen intellectual property, but Aurora Flight Sciences gave it to Virgin Galactic on accident, and that isn't really Virgin Galactic's problem as far as I'm concerned. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. Now, what we should be more concerned about is what's going on with the development of Delta and the testing of those spacecrafts. And that there's simply just been no progress announced over the last couple of months since earnings were reported a little over a month ago. So why is the stock falling? Well, it may just simply be falling because investors have lost interest in a company that isn't going to have a lot of milestones ahead for a couple of years. It's probably not going to be until the middle of 2026 that we're actually going to see these Delta spacecraft fly with people in them and actually start taking people to space. Now, if Virgin Galactic can get to that point, which management has said that they can with the cash on the balance sheet, then it's possible that the company can get to positive free cash flow from operations, from simply flying people on a regular basis into space. And that's ultimately the upside for the stock. But you have to wait 2 years to get there. And I think one of the things that investors often do is get impatient with what's going on with the company. But there's nothing that Virgin Galactic is going to report. They're not going to announce some new spacecraft that's going to be ready in a month or two. They're not going to announce a new program because they don't have the funds to fund that kind of program. So right now, all investors can do is really wait until 2026. Look at those milestones that Virgin Galactic needs to hit. The next thing is finishing their Phoenix facility, which is where they're going to be assembling their spacecraft. Those spacecraft will start coming together in 2024. By 2025, sometime probably early in 2025, we'll start to have more tests, test flights, and there will be a number of those before we get to commercial operations, which will be in 2026. What they have currently said is that they're going to build 2 spacecraft, but they said on the last conference call that it's possible that they're going to make plans for the 3rd, 4th, and even 5th or 6th spacecraft, which would all be housed in their New Mexico facility. So they would have one mothership that would take as much as 8 flights up per week into space, 6 passengers per flight. That's how you get to the profitable operations, because those tickets are now eventually going to be about $450,000 a piece. Could be a very nice cash flow business if they can get to that point. But like I said, there's a long way to go to get there. And I think the stock is dropping just because investors are getting impatient. But this is what we should expect from Virgin Galactic. It's going to be multiple years before we actually see the fruit from the investment that's going on today. Now, this lawsuit is a little bit concerning, because if Virgin Galactic has to come up with another $25 million in cash, that's going to be a challenge. That's money that they need to build those Delta spacecraft to get to commercial operations. But looking at the details that we at least know publicly, it isn't something that was super alarming to me and just seemed like kind of one of those normal parts of business. But I could be wrong about that. This could be a bill that's coming. Look for more comments on that during the company's conference call. That'll be coming probably in May. So I'll probably be back around then to go over exactly what the latest is from Virgin Galactic, unless we have some more news in the meantime. But the biggest thing I can say for investors is just simply be patient. If this is a company that you have faith in what they're doing and what they're building, this is going to be much more of a venture capital style investment, where you're going to want to buy this investment and just let it play out over the next 5 to 10 years. You can't keep checking up on a company like this on a day-to-day basis, because there's just nothing that's going to be driving the stock. There's no catalyst for this company on a day-to-day basis, because the milestones that they need to hit are months and years in the future. So that's the path that I'm taking with my shares of Virgin Galactic, is just hanging on. I don't have a big position, and there's a reason for that. This is a very, very high risk stock. Could absolutely go to zero. But if there is a reward, it's multiple years away. So always something to keep in mind. But what do you think about Virgin Galactic? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.